And jeez, I just bumped my tripod. Anyway, in today's video, I want to talk about phones. So, we have my minor phone collection. I do, in fact, have a little bit more over here, but we don't talk about that. Anyway, this is my phone collection. We have my Western Electric Model 2500. We have a Radio Shack Midnight 2, a GE 2-line telephone, and an AT&T landline. I don't know the model number off the top of my head, so yeah. Now, phones have been around a while. They initially were like this, except they had rotary on it. They didn't have touch tone like this one does. But now, we have cell phones like this. That's pretty insane for like a almost 150-year gap. So, yeah. So in this video, all I'm going to do is go over my phone collection. That's it. I know I haven't posted in a really long time, and that's my fault. I've had time, but also lately, I've got a new camera. Last May, I got a brand new phone, so we have a new camera to test with 60 FPS video. New improvement, and also it's in 4K, pretty sure. So, let's talk about phones. Ah, crap. So, this is my Model 2500 touch tone, because that's the only thing that Model 2500s were known for. Also, it has a removable phone cable. Also, removable phone jack on the back. These came out in the 60s, and they were known for being more, let's just say, movable, or I don't know. So, one thing Model 500s and really any old Western Electric phone is known for is your unscrewable caps. These were, either filled with a carbon microphone there, or a speaker, which was a very normal tinny speaker. Older ones have these big thick ones, but there are modern reproductions. So, these phones have a thick metal microphone with cotton in there for sound deadening, or just to make sure there's no vibrations, one of those two. There's always a date code on these, so you can always find where your telephone's from. This one's from 1976, I think. Here's your touchscreen keypad. This is your handset, your phone cable, your main body of the phone, grab handle, hook switch, and that's about it. Also, if you flip the phone over, I'm going to probably unplug this because I'm not about to deal with a loose handset. If you flip this underneath, you have your ringer volume, and this phone is so old. It's basically been redone for some reason. I don't know why someone painted this. I mean, it is rusting. I don't blame them. But also, this has a ringer equivalence sticker from 1990 on it. That's what I initially thought until I did a ton of research, because I thought it was from 1990. Because, Model 2500s are, they're not modern devices, but they did go up pretty high in the market. But this one's actually from the 70s. I also looked at the carbon microphone here, and if you take a look, it's gonna be really hard to see, but that's a 75 date code, I'm pretty sure, or a 68 date code. I don't know. It could be. I don't really know. I would have to research model numbers. If someone can tell me in the comments if anybody watches this video. Ignore my dog. If anybody watches this video and you know the date code on this, please tell me in the comments. That would be greatly appreciated. On to the next one. Before the next one, actually there is a little thing, a trick you can do with these. I don't know if you've already heard them, but since they're older landline telephones, they have mechanical ringers in them. So if you hit them, that happens. Next up in the lineup is this GE 2-line telephone. I don't exactly know where this is from. I do have a riser for desk, but since I always have them wall mounted, you know, I don't have that. But I do have that on hand. Let me actually get in the light here. So this is a pretty simple phone. It does indeed have 2 lines on the back, which is pretty handy, especially since, you know, sometimes you need that maybe for offices or something. So, like all the other ones, a removable handset, but this is from the 90s most likely, so there's always one of these. You have a really weird slanted connector. So the RJ25 is weirdly, no wait, this is an RJ15, my fault, something like that. One RJ connector, I don't remember. I think this is an RJ25 back here. I'm not that good with connectors, so don't blame me here. I do know that Ethernet cables are RJ45 though. So you have your phone cable, and your handset, and we'll get to that in a minute. On your main phone, you have of course, your keypad, your speaker, hook switch, and since this is a wall-mountable phone, you have a holder here that will just clip in like that, and then now you have, you know, a wall-mounted phone, whatever, I can't speak. You have this thing actually does have memory, so you have your number table here, and you can quick dial 3 numbers. Also, you can also emergency if you need to. You have, you know, whatever dial, store, you can flash dial or something like that, I forgot what that's called. You can redial a number. You can easily, you know, choose line 1 or line 2, you can hold it, so that releases everything. I kind of use that to undo everything. And you also have a conference mode, which is pretty neat. I don't exactly know what that does. I haven't studied this phone much. On the bottom, you have a lithium battery for, you know, storage. It's basically a button cell. I think it's a CR2032. I'm not pretty sure with that, but you know. It is UL listed, so it's a good product. I don't actually know. Also, if someone can tell me the date code on that quality check, that'd be nice. I can't really understand it because of the scribbles. I don't know why companies do this, but they do that. So yeah, there's also a QR code, but that's not. I mean, 94 could be it, but yeah, it doesn't seem likely. On the side, you have your pulse and tone dialing, or touch tone. Pulse, basically, when this was made in the 90s, most landlines were still pulse dialable because touch tones were extra money, and most of them were rotary phones. Also, you have 2 ringers because you have line 1 and line 2. So, for example, if you have a really urgent call number, like a phone number, and it calls, you can choose it to be loud or high or even off or low. Same for line 2, so that doesn't really matter. Also, ignore my stuttering. I cannot stand myself sometimes, so I'm stuttering really bad right now, so just ignore that. I guess people can understand me. I don't know. Yeah, so you have your hook switch, which is a really nice tactile one. You have your speaker, so for speakerphone, and that's about it. For this, at least. Onto your handset. I'll move the cable over. This is just a normal phone cable. That's not really important. Unlike the Model 500 derivative phone. Hold on. I need to take this off. Hold on. So, unlike the, you know, Model 500 derivative 2500, it is a whole thing. You cannot unscrew these. So, this is basically an unscrewable thing, but this is one big handset. And that sucks, but, I mean, it is what it is. It is a very solid build, just like this, actually. So I think these are both made out of similar plastics. This one, surprisingly, hasn't yellowed. It's still pearl white for some reason. That is very surprising. And this, of course, has yellowed. You can actually see it where it has yellowed. Plus, this is a different color, but that could be off of another model. But you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but there is white right here, and then there's a yellow. So, and that was hidden by where the hook switch is. So, yep. So that's that. I mean, there's really nothing here. You have your microphone and, of course, your speaker, which I'm pretty sure is the same. So, I'm just gonna... So, that's that. Now we have the second oldest phone in my collection. It is a Radio Shack Midnight 2. I think I've already said that, but I don't know. It is a little dirty, so that's like water or something. But it's a very, very solid handset. I can't explain to you how heavy this thing is. If someone owns one of these, I mean, it's obvious. They're very heavy. It is also a wall-mounted phone, but it, for some reason, has a little bit less of tilt angle, but it still kind of works. Just like the other phone, you have M1, M2, and M3. Has 3 memory slots, and yes, again, it is very dirty. Store and memory. You have your keypad, and yes, I did zoom in the camera. I know that. 1, 2, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's got a mute switch, which is pretty neat. A hold button with a light on it. Radial, I don't exactly remember what that does. Tone, whatever, and flash, again. Flashing is whatever. Let me take the handset off here. We'll go over the main thing. I've already kind of went over it. But exactly like the other one, you have a ringer switch and you have a tone and pulse dial. Also on the back, you have your phone line and you have like a little routing thing and you know, an area to mount it on a wall. This is a Radio Shack telephone. It is the Midnight Tune fashion phone, but we don't talk about that. I didn't get it. Well, I got it donated to me, but you know. It's got a, you know, hook switch. It's also got another one of these little pieces that is, sorry, I have the worst lighting in this room, so if I look at myself, like, in the camera, I have a huge shadow, so just ignore that. But this is another, you know, switch to hold it in the wall. I'm also, okay, I actually need to see what I'm doing. Hold on. There we go. Alright, so that's that. There we go. So, there's your handset. It's a brick. It's a little nasty, because again, I haven't really cleaned this one. I just got it. It's got a little chin rest here. Has your connector. That's literally it. You know. Same as this one. It's all one hefty brick. Surprisingly, this one's way heavier than this. They probably put something in there to make it heavier. So yeah, that's that. So, that's the entire lineup of my analog telephone. Partially analog. Some of them are digital. I think the only real analog one would be this guy, but I'm talking about ones that don't have screens on them. So, that's the whole collection of those. And, yeah, this is most of my collection, but we're going to get to my next phone. This is an AT&T landline. It's very modern. I mean, it's wireless. It also is yellow tech. I mean, look at that. Ugh. It does have separate power. Even though you could get 48 volts over the landline itself, but some of them can go up to 94 volts, but that's for the box, I think. So yeah, your connector, you have your DC barrel plug. This thing actually does have an answering machine, and you also can locate the handset. So you know. Yep, answering. It's got volume up and down. It's got like a little pad. So, yep. So it has a screen on here. And that's for that. There's nothing that you can change on here. I mean, volume is pretty decent. And it won't go anywhere. And yes, it is a typewriter. So, get this out of the way. And focus on this handset. This does indeed have a battery in it. I don't actually know what milliamp hour it is. Let's check. Or what's really rated for. It doesn't even tell me, I don't think. So, yeah, it won't really tell me. But what it will tell me is the model number. So, yeah. It's pretty neat. So, you have, it's like a normal phone, really. It's got a screen, speaker, microphone, normal buttons. My dog's in here now. It's got a little thing to look through stuff, and, that's literally it. I can't even describe it. Also, it's an AT&T. You know what also is an AT&T? This bad boy. Depending on the age, it could be a telco phone. So, that's pretty neat. That would have also been, that means that it was basically leased to the person with the phone. So, yeah. Surprisingly, this one has lasted forever, but they're known to be almost indestructible. That's fine. This one has the plate, but I have to remove that, clean that. Touch tones, everything. I already went over this one, though, so, So, yeah, that's my video on my landline phone collection. I hope I build it a little bit more, a little bit better, because it kind of sucks, and, I need to build it up. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. I hope I don't take another 8 months to post again. It's been an incredibly long time, and the last video I think got like 60 views. Pretty decent for me. But yeah, I will be making a post on my Instagram, but if you're here, you probably came from Instagram, depending on who you are. So, yeah. Alright, talk to you guys in another one. Bye.